Look who's back. Feels like a while. It was a week off. Taking some holidays. But I'm back in the chair. Hosting the SportsCage on Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Main fundraiser, sport, culture, recreation in Saskatchewan, and the Rider Scratch Ticket. Still, some of the big prizes left. There can't be many of those left. So get out there, support Sasky, the Rider Scratch Tickets. It is for Saskatchewan Lotteries. The show today, the rundown. What do we got for you? Rob Vanstone, Saskatchewan Roughriders, coming into studio. Odds are with Candy. We got even odds. Candy's coming in with Rob Vanstone today. Arash Madani in hour 2. We got a PumpJacks Cathedral trivia on this Tuesday. Playing for $50. I will tell you that's coming up in hour 2. You'll have to call in if you haven't won anything in the last 30 days. And it's CFL related. $50. And even if you lose, you get a free lunch to PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. Great spot before the game this weekend or after the game. They got live music. Dante to Caria, the Pats. It's WHL camp season. The Pats start Thursday. Dante will come in, run down the Pats camp and what we can expect there in hour 2. Hour 3, Glen Suitor coming in. And if you haven't heard the Rod Brindamore talking about Notre Dame on the podcast between shifts, we have that for you as well. Rod Brindamore giving it up on Notre Dame and his time there. Very interesting comments. A lot. Well, and you're always welcome. I need you today, SportsCage people. All right. I need you to message in. Let me know if you're a Rider fan. Okay, and even if you're casual, you're not the die-hard, you're not the jock sniffer, you're a stat guy, whatever. Send it in. What are you thinking here? Okay, we got 2 losses in a row. Prairieland Rentals text line, 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, located at 600 Albert Street in Regina, just past the tracks there. Anything, you're doing a fall job like I am, maybe you need to rent a tool, something big, they have it. You deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. 936-6262 is the number. Maybe you got some questions for Mr. Vanstone or for Arash or for Glen Suitor that I can ask on the radio, on the YouTube, on any of the streams, however you're listening to this. Fire away. 936-6262. All of our guests, by the way, join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. I was gone for a week. What is the first thing I wanted when I got back to town? Western Pizza, of course. And then I think I'm gone next week as well. And then I'll want Western Pizza, maybe a lasagna. Maybe I'd take one on the road. You know, you could do that. You can take the frozen pizzas to someone and then you plop it in the oven. They make it for you and they do. I forget what they do exactly, but then you can ship it. It's somewhat partially baked and then frozen. I'm butchering this, but Western Pizza can do it, and you can take it to your friends and brag about Western Pizza and get them to find out how good it is. Okay, you want not that I matter in the least. I'm a pigeon hosting a show. That's all. But I'll tell you what I think. Okay? If there's a fire alarm and there's like a mid, you can go to a mid setting on it. That's what I would hit. I don't want to Are we sugarcoating things today? Or are we not? Those last 2 football games that the Riders have played, it ain't good. We're in that game at half. Surprisingly, I would like to know what happens in that game if Johnny Johnson 3 hangs on to the football and doesn't forget that there's possibly another guy coming to hit him from the other side. What happens there? But in the second quarter of play, the Riders and I'm like, well, okay, I should have taken that. By the way, I should have taken the under, the first half under of 30. And then the third quarter happens. And I'm like, oh boy. The frustration on Trevor Harris's face, the frustration that he shows. Now, tomorrow, I think they're back on the practice field, and Harris is going to say, nope, it's all good. It's on me. Okay? Hey, I'm taking this. But Jete, have you ever played football? Have you ever coached anybody out there? You know what I mean? He's got to run that route. He leaves his quarterback hanging. There's no smash out. The route is a slant across. And Harris throws that, and it's intercepted. And look at the frustration on the poor man's face. Now, did Trevor have his best game? Last 2 games? Not going to dissect it because I'm not watching film from front to back. I'm only watching what you see. I'm only listening to the fellas on the broadcast. I sync up the broadcast with the visuals. I do that all the time. No offense to Glen Suitor. Don't tell him when he comes on later. But that's what I do. So unless you break down tape and go through it frame by frame, okay, what's going on here? Okay, that's on Trevor. That one's on Trevor. I don't know. All I know, we haven't looked too good the last 2 weeks. Justin Dunk, I got to fill in for E-Bug for Tegan on Sunday.
We've had a lot of E-Bugs lately.
Yeah, Tegan's really sick. Did last 2 years. She's bouncing back. Don't worry. Bouncing back.
We're not getting stuck with 5 days of Barney.
Not getting stuck with 5 days of me. No. Plus, front row of my funeral comes first, and the next 2 weeks with those people are busy. I'm busy. Burning holidays, and I got it. And then I'm pretty much here for the remainder. But that was fun. The call-in show, it goes by in a blink of an eye for starters. Some really, really, really educated and good callers. I've listened to it since I was 7 years old. Up in Saskatoon, used to be on a different station. Now it's on. I used to listen to it all the time. Some great callers. Educated. And then there were some that blamed and just wanted to blame the refs. And then I had to cut that off. Today, we're not talking about the reffing. We're not. Because it's a professional league. Now, if it comes out down the road, 5 years, 10 years, that there was collusion and the refs were getting paid and all that, call me. I'll take you for a steak dinner. But I don't think that's happening in the CFL. I do not think.
Yeah, this is how much I think that's happening. I'm not writing it in my book.
We've all, if you've coached or played at a minor level, you've been hosed by refs. And that's acceptable. I got hosed this year. Not going to say where or what. Big time. Because the gentleman didn't like the kids or the people on our team. Okay, that's fine. You get hosed a bit. Senior hockey? Oh, boy. I remember that. Bad. I remember playing hockey down in the States, and it was worse because there was less refs.
Oh, yeah.
And if you... I did a podcast, I could go into it more. Very interesting. This one ref hated a bunch of us 18, 19-year-old males for a reason. But see, that all happens. Yeah, the Adult Safe League, the minor soccer, I'm sure it happens. Yes. Professional football, nope. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. If you can dig up the data and the research and find where there is a crooked ref, I'll buy you a steak dinner of your choice.
The answer is the NBA, but we don't need to get into that.
See, I knew you went there, and I was like, yeah, okay. Other than that, though, it's more players than anything.
Yeah. We actually got a caller if you want to take a caller right now.
Let's go.
So
who's we got?
We got Sean. He's in Moose Jaw, but he's actually from North Arkansas. So, Sean.
Sean?
Yeah.
Where in northern Arkansas? I've never been. That's one of the states I've never been to.
I'm from Siloam Springs, and I drove up here to see a friend of mine, and I was listening to the show, so I got some thoughts on the Riders.
Okay, how many Rider games have you seen with your eyeballs in your life?
I don't think that's relevant, sir.
It isn't?
No, sir. No, I was listening to some commentary about how they were climbing up on the goalposts. Oh, man.
The Riders were climbing up on the goalpost.
Yeah, somebody yesterday was saying something about it. I tell you what, they need some good old NFL discipline. I don't think you'd see that in America.
Explain why you guys discipline. Did you see a few years ago when Vanderbilt walked the goalposts into the river in Nashville? Where was the discipline there?
No. I don't know about that, sir. You wouldn't see something like that in Arkansas. I think you need to bring up a good old Southerner to teach you guys how to play football.
Okay, I'm gonna, if you're near Google, go and look up the Roughriders roster and see how many of those boys are from the South that have played NCAA football, and they know what they're doing. I lived in your beautiful country, by the way.
Oh, did you? What'd you think of it, sir?
I'm one of the biggest fans of America. Maybe not so much right now.
Go.
Some of my best friends are American, so you're never going to find a more pro-American Canadian than me. So
that's good to know, sir.
It's
you still think that it's not a discipline problem?
No, our problem is depth right now, I would say, and I think other teams have maybe figured it out. You played a lot of football in your day down in Arkansas, didn't you?
Oh, yes,
okay,
of course.
So remember when you would game plan against teams?
Yeah.
What position did you play?
Oh, well, I played quarterback, but only in high school, sir.
Okay, no,
I was never very good. We were sort of terrible.
Okay, remember when you used to play your big rival, and you guys would run through the paper, and you guys would come out, and it was like Friday night, and like it was odd. But that team, they watched a little bit too much tape on you guys, and you guys didn't watch enough on them, and those guys knew how to shut you down. Like, what side did you throw into more? Did you throw into the right side more? Did you only roll to the right side? I was like, how did these coaches...
always the right side, man. We were actually terrible because I'm only one-eye dominant, so I always threw to the right side, and I think they figured it out eventually. I don't think they needed to watch tape. I think within 3 or 4 plays, they were like, man, this dude really likes the right side.
Yeah.
And they were right.
Your state's right side, right?
Of the United States, I suppose. Yeah, if you were to split it directly in half.
No, you guys,
Hawaii in the average.
You guys vote blue?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, no, Arkansas. Oh, boy, man. There's some folks down there.
Now you got what I'm throwing down. Okay.
Yeah, there's some conservatism down there.
Did you seriously watch that? Hey, what are you doing in Moose Jaw?
My best friend from high school moved up here to be an aircraft mechanic, so I'm just visiting him.
Oh, have you gone to Knit's Thai food in Moose Jaw yet?
No, I have not. Should I go?
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure. Have you? I'm sure you've gone to the casino.
No, sir. No, I am not a gambling man. I'm far too poor for that.
Okay, and have you gone to an ice hockey game ever in your life?
No, sir, never. They don't got a lot of ice in Arkansas.
How long are you up for?
About a week.
Okay, well, the Moose Jaw Warriors are having their camp. I think they got like an inter-squad game coming up on Sunday, and there'll be guys trying to make that team. You should go watch that hockey game.
Oh, they'll be really fighting hard, I suppose, because they're trying to make it, huh?
Exactly. Okay.
All right, then. Well, thank you so much, man.
Hey. Call anytime. Even when you get back to Arkansas, we're on YouTube and we're on streams, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again, Sean.
I look forward to hearing from you, man. Have a good one.
Okay, you have a good one. There's Sean from Arkansas visiting in Moose Jaw. I like that call.
I didn't expect that, but
He called me sir. I've never been called sir so many times in my life. Not sir.
And normally when you're called sir that many times, you feel like you're in trouble.
There's a police officer nearby.
Yeah.
Is Rob here?
I haven't seen him. I can go check.
See? Can more people call in like Sean? 936.
We don't even know if he watched the game.
He said it didn't matter. He just wanted to go into discipline. Sean's a discipline guy. That was awesome. What a great start to my week. Thanks, Sean. 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. Now, we won't take calls when Rob's on, but then maybe after Rob's on and you want to call and converse, then we can do that. Prairieland Rentals text line's buzzing already as well. Come on. Who's 403? Leave your name. Leave your name. Stan from Red Deer. Jete was supposed to run that route. Are you watching the stream or are you listening on the radio? Stan from Red Deer. I would bet whatever I got in my bank account that he's supposed to run a slant there and keep running. No doubt about it. Justin Dunk, too, who's played quarterback at a collegiate level. You'd ask Luke. We'll ask Glen Suitor later. Glen Suitor's going to say, that's slant. He's got to keep running that. So, Stan and Red Deer, that's what I think. Oh, James texting in, Karen. We'll get to those text messages. Guys, stay tuned and call in. That was fun. Okay? It's the Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. Welcome back to the Cage on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. However you are taking it in today. If it's the audio streams, maybe it is on radio, 620 CKRM, or the YouTube feed, and you're watching along at sportscage.com. Colson is with me. Rob Vanstone and Candy have just arrived in the studio. Thanks for coming down. She just knows where to go now.
Yeah, she's gone to the front desk and gotten her obligatory treat, and she's mobbed a few people and made her grand.
Yeah, right into the pocket as she sits. If you're just first tuning in, Rob brings his dog in, Candy. She's absolutely lovely. It is the love of your life.
My wife and I absolutely just live for serving our diva dog. So. She loves the car ride. She loves coming here. She loves socializing, and she'll provide the interesting answers that our members of our household will give you this afternoon.
She's got an aggressive jump up for like some love.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Elaine Bennis in Seinfeld when she used to push everybody. I was like, Candy's got it going on. Now I need an update. Last bike ride, how long was it?
15 kilometers. Oh. I snuck one in. I just felt like going for a bike ride before the game on Saturday.
Okay.
So I left my place and rode to Wascana, did a lap of the lake, and made it back just in time for kickoff. I timed it absolutely perfectly.
Because you were
listen to the CKRM pregame show riding my bike.
You were right. Yeah, well, great. That's of course you were pushing 100 kilometers some nights, and it was maybe I can't remember the number was that one, and it was like hot.
It was hot.
Because now I'm like, this is perfect outside biking weather.
It is, night. But there's not as much daylight, so it's and I'm not going to get up too early to ride, so it's
okay.
It's the weird thing about when you go for a long bike ride in hot weather, it's only hot when you stop. When you're riding, you create a breeze.
Oh, okay.
And so that wasn't the riding wasn't the tough part. It was the stopping. Because as soon as you stop, it's like you're stepping into a furnace. But yeah, I rode my bike 100 kilometers one day. And as a point of reference, I rode my bike 98 kilometers all of last year.
Wow.
So in one ride, I topped 2025.
Good for you.
So
good for you.
Except in 2025.
you watch the game and then and listen to it on CKRM. Obviously, up until half, it's anybody's game. I think we all gave BC the credit they deserved. BC is a good football team.
They are, and I mean they've won 4 in a row. And you look at their personnel, and you look who's quarterbacking them, and look at that defensive line, that receiving core, Xander Horvath, James Butler, etc. I mean that's a very good football team. They've been in the Western Final the last 2 years against the Roughriders, and they're. Despite the start, which correlates a bit with the absence of Nathan Rourke, they're now right in the hunt again. And that game in Vancouver near the end of September is going to be really, really big.
For sure. The one thing I'm watching that game, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to interview him or watch him up close, but for the Lions, I'm trying to look up what his stat line was. But Darnell Sankey and where is it? Anyway, they look like angry men. Like you know what I mean? Like, and I know the Rider guys are the same thing, but I'm just like watching these guys. I'm like, yeah. I was sleeping on BC until maybe the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, these guys are kind of well put together.
Yeah, and I mean. It's funny because a lot of people thought going into the game you can shut down the running game the way Horvath had been going, especially that would stand you in good stead.
Yeah.
The running game was shut down, and that ultimately wasn't a factor. In Edmonton, against Edmonton earlier this year, so much the talk was, can Justin Rankin be neutralized? And he was in back-to-back games. the Roughriders went 1-1 in those games. So there's a lot of talk about the importance of stopping the run, and that's not to diminish its impact. But if you stop the run, but you're facing Cody Fajardo when he's hot, or facing Nathan Rourke when he's hot, it's still predominantly a pass-oriented league, and there's not really an easy week in the CFL when it comes to facing a quarterback.
Matthew Betts,
especially when everybody's healthy.
Matthew Betts, that's the one guy that I there was one shot that one of the O linemen was on him just till the end of the play, and he came down so violently on that O lineman's forearms, and I was like, that's a hard punch to that would hurt.
It's a different persona because by and large they're such nice people, and you talk to James Vaughters, for example, you'd never dream that he's a ferocious lineman.
Yeah, Marcus Sales.
It's just, but you've got it for fragments of 3 or 4 seconds, 50, 60, 70 times a game. I had a chance to meet Matthew Betts last year. I just happened to be in the same restaurant that the Lions were in before the game, and Adam O'Clair played for the Riders the year before, was there, and he was one of the people he was having dinner with Matthew Betts, and he was such a nice guy. And I said hello to Adam, and I had a chance to meet Matthew Betts, and it's like, yeah, that's not the person the quarterback is seeing coming in on him. Yeah. It's a different persona.
Do you think we want 16 points? I think you're not going to win a lot of football games, right? In the CFL, scoring 16 points, unless it's a typhoon.
Yeah, it's a 19 the week before.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, the potential was there for more points, and it just, as Trevor Harris and Corey Mace talked about, it was just, without taking anything away from the Lions, it was opportunities missed. It was 2 interceptions in the red zone, a fumble in field goal territory, etc. Trevor passed for 356 yards. Time possession was virtually even. The Riders had, I think, 22 more offensive plays than BC did. So, the ball control was pretty good. It just, there were those issues which haven't been the issues for most of the year. Trevor's leading the league in red zone completions. And the red zone percentage is still very good. Second down conversions is still really high. But just that last game was an anomaly. An anomaly. That's tough to say. An omelet? What am I trying to say here?
The 5-yard halo. When it bites you, when it comes to, it's such a rule that I just hate. And you go back to even playing as a kid, and it's like, it's very arbitrary at times for refs. Yeah. Especially professional fields are a little bit different. But you see it in high school football and even some junior. It's like, well, I think he was outside. Yeah. In this case, it's obvious. I felt the field was. If you're watching the stream, the field seemed slippery.
Yeah, I don't know. There was talk before. I think Dave and Luke mentioned on the pregame show. It was very humid. And even though the dome was closed, did that create, and did the humidity create some slipperiness? There was no question that was a penalty on the Nick Weeb touchdown. And it's interesting because before the Hamilton game, the Riders were right near the top in terms of fewest penalties per game, and then over 100 yards against Hamilton. But 7 for 72 isn't generally a bad penalty number. It's not great. You'd prefer to have what BC did, which was 2, but 7 for 72 just isn't generally something that's going to make you think, penalties are a problem. But as Corey Mace said after the game, it's not the yardage that was assessed; it was the yardage that was negated, and that was the 49 yards to Quali Connolly on a swing pass that would have been a touchdown, most notably.
I said this to start the show. I would like to know how the game turns out. Again, taking nothing away from BC, because I think as on that night they were definitely the better football team. I'd like to know how the game changes if Johnson doesn't fumble that one late in the second quarter. Yeah,
you wonder, but you could also twist it around and say, well, if Nathan Rourke doesn't throw an interception to Jackson Ford on the 4-yard line, Jackson returns at 33 yards. Riders go in for a touchdown. So the Riders were able to get an opportunity, take an opportunity away from BC in the red zone. It's just such a critical spot on the field to make a mistake, and especially when points are suddenly harder to come by than they were. We're not far removed from scoring 42 points, but these last two games, it's been a problem. But and the thing is now, if the Rough Riders get into field goal range, the way that Alex Hale is kicking lately, he's over 80% now.
That's where I was going next.
So it doesn't have to be the weekly referendum, at least publicly, on the kicker. He's settled in quite nicely, and so you can look at it and say, well, the 3 points are a pretty good bet there.
I was going to say, and you had it on your Twitter, 50 plus field goals by Riders. I think a lot of us would know who the leader is there, Dave Ridgway, then Paul McCallum, then Brett. So anyway, Ridgway 32. That's a lot.
Yeah.
McCallum had 29, Lawther had 23, Luca Conji at 7. I don't remember a lot of these other guys. Chris Milo, remember him.
Quinn Van Gilswick is the good one. He made one field goal as a Rough Rider, and it was a 54-yarder. What a cool stat that is.
What year? What's the story?
What was that? 2016, 20...
I don't remember that guy at all.
Yeah, he was a Rider draft pick, and big leg, and he absolutely made that 54-yarder. It was at Mosaic Stadium with yardage to spare. Now I got to look this up. And consuming valuable Quinn Van
Gilswick.
2016.
Where was he from?
Oh, he was a Canadian draftee.
While you look that up, this is how we call buying your co-host
musical interlude.
Yeah, where's your dad? Where's your dad's recordings of the Oregon when we need them? Right here. Hey, Colson's quick on the ball. Okay, while you look that up, but what do you think of Johnson's catch? The other Johnson.
Oh, I had a piece on Riderville.com today. That's the longest.
You've probably seen them in practice a little bit. Yeah,
we weren't surprised to see it. It's the longest catch by an offensive lineman in Rider history.
Wow.
The previous record of 13 was set by Mark Parento in 2010.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it's certainly the most yards after catch by a Rough Rider offensive lineman.
Well, the story goes, and I think we've all heard it now, is he was a tight end in college.
Yeah, and look at hauled in the pass, nice and calmly, tucked the ball away, knew what to do, excellent curl route, and so that was a really cool moment. He Jeremy O'Day had a 17-yard reception for Toronto once upon a time. So of employees with the Rough Riders, he is now Daniel Johnson is now tied for longest reception by an offensive lineman. As well, the Riders have now had a reception by 4 players named Johnson this season. The previous surname record for receptions is 2, which happened 11 times. So
by
the same surname. There was Grant and Grant in 2017. There was Smith and Smith.
I was going to say Smith and Smith.
And in 2015, there was a Taj Smith caught passes, Ryan Smith caught passes, and on 4 occasions, Brett Smith threw a touchdown pass to Ryan Smith. The director of player personnel was Craig Smith. So I may have squeezed that toothpaste tube a little too vigorously.
That's how we love having Rob Vanstone in the studio here. And anything else crazy that jumps out in that game stats wise? Any that you had out there?
Oh, just the ongoing progression of Trevor Harris. I mean, he's on pace to eclipse 5,000 passing yards for only the 4th time it's ever been done by a Rough Rider. 440 yards away from tying Doug Flutie for 10th in yardage over all time. So,
jeez.
He's got 21 touchdown passes after 10 games. That puts him on a pace for 39. Team record's 35 by Ken Austin in 1992. So even with the recent slump or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it.
Well,
He's on a pace to do things that are, at least in one by one marker, a Rough Rider quarterback's never done before. We're getting to, and we're watching a future Hall of Famer play.
Absolutely.
It is, and in his absolute, he after the Grey Cup, Trevor said, "I'm somewhere between retiring and being right in my prime." Kind of joked. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in their prime who, in terms of what people define as the prime age, you aren't doing what he is doing when you look at the season he's had.
I would have liked to know, and I don't think we will find out, is what happens on, I think it was Johnson that ran more of he was thinking it was coming to a fade route, going to the end zone there, and Trevor throws it like he's throwing straight up seam down the middle. I would really like to know what happened, because that one seemed really weird. Now, if you're looking at it, I'm like, well, I think the fade was the play, because he had nothing but sideline, nothing but area in the end zone, and he tried to fit it in there. They weren't on the same page. It was an easy interception for BC. I can't remember the guy's name, but I would really like to know what happened on the confusion on that play. Who was in the wrong there? I don't think Trevor will ever blame his receiver.
No, I mean, that's a 2nd and 3 play, and it was Jackson Finley, I think, who made the pick, and
they hurried up to the line.
Well, yeah.
Where sometimes confusion happens, obviously, with that.
But then they did the waggle and then called them back. And here comes the blitz. And Trevor, absolutely, it's mouth-watering when Trevor sees a blitz coming. And if you look at it, there was an opportunity there because you got one-on-one coverage downfield. And the blitzer, I don't know the extent to which, if at all, he influenced the trajectory or timing of the throw. Mm-hmm. But we'll see that play once this season. I think I'm going to try and pronounce anomaly again. I think I nailed it that time too. Now I'm going to look it up to see what it means.
What Rider signing today, by the way, and I had this coming up in the ticker, but I'll explain it now. We've signed American wide receiver Shamir Bridges, who had a heck of a rookie campaign in Hamilton, and then he cut a few weeks ago. Kind of fell off the face of the earth, though, with Hamilton. There was an injury in there, too. Yeah,
but it's very timely considering the injuries that have affected the Rough Rider receiving corps. His first CFL touchdown in his second CFL game was against the Rough Riders in Hamilton. His second CFL touchdown was against the Rough Riders at Mosaic Stadium. So he's already scored here. If called into duty on Saturday, well, maybe he can increase that total.
Is there any, you would know, is there any relationship with any of the coaches, with any maybe of that playbook? There wouldn't be there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't figure any out.
There's a reputable player who's available, and go get him. I'm intrigued to see it. It's a bit of a tall order when especially in a short week of practice. Team's back on the field Wednesday. Can he be ready for Saturday?
You've seen it a lot more than I have. I think we see him Saturday.
Yeah,
and it might be only a limited number of plays, and where what's his skill set best suited for, and then we run. We've seen it done. Man, who was that the one year? Is it in the NFL? Baker Mayfield played for the Rams with like 1 day of practice.
Yeah,
an NFL regular season game.
He was practicing his hike on the sideline at the start of the game.
That was one of the craziest turnarounds of a professional athlete being thrust into action.
And Barney Shynkaruk played entire touch football seasons without practicing once. And what we don't know is, Johnny Johnson III had to leave the game late on Sunday.
Yes.
I think I don't have any inside knowledge as to how he is. Samuel Emelis was hurt at the end of the game. Their status may influence the urgency with which Bridges is deployed.
Yeah. That's Sam. If you're watching the stream, you see the Sam Emelis hit late in the game right there where we don't know. We'll find out more as the week goes on. I would be surprised if either of those guys are practicing tomorrow. And then Coach Mace, I bet you will say, we'll wait and see.
Yep.
You got a young buck. Wait and see.
But there's Sam Emelis selling out for football with a minute 13 left and down 14.
Gamer.
I
don't play him there personally. But hey, he probably wants to be in, and the coaches have him in, and he's off the injured list. So yeah, he's playing.
And Trevor's not going to give up. You get a touchdown down there, onside kick. This is the CFL, and you never know. And until it's mathematically impossible, good luck. Good luck getting Trevor or some of his choice targets off the field.
Look, just back to Bridges here. I'm just looking at it. 6'4", 208. I didn't think he was that big.
I didn't either. I was surprised when I saw the media release, expertly written by Director of Communications Ariel Zur and her intern Hannah Rugg.
Yeah,
that's the best writing we've had on the website all year.
Rob Vanstone, Rider Historian, joining us here on the SportsCage.
That was a plug.
Yeah, there we go. Self-deprecating. I love it. Yeah, no, 6'4", 208. I'd be absolutely shocked if we don't see him in the lineup coming up this weekend against Toronto. Which Toronto there or Toronto here. Toronto's always, it's like Hamilton, one of those teams that scare me.
Yeah, I mean, they've already won here this year.
Yes.
Chad Kelly could throw 4 interceptions, could throw 4 touchdowns, or he could do both. And he's got that big arm, and he's not afraid to use it. And that's a tricky team to face. And there's pretty good build-up for this one. Tickets, I'm informed, are already in the neighborhood of 30,000.
Really?
Yeah. So,
supposed to be a perfect night for football.
Yeah.
Like weather-wise, we're not dealing with back sweat and too hot for some people. It's going to be Saturday too. People traveling in, spending the night, or
and it's almost like
in and out.
It's almost like a last fling with summer, a week before the Labor Day Classic.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
Don't say that. Lots of golf left, Rob.
I haven't golfed since 1992, so that doesn't bother me at all. I can honestly say I haven't had a bad round of golf in 34 years.
You played touch football
until I was
more
40.
recently than you've golfed.
Oh yeah, I played touch football when I was 49.
We should get a media game going. First, I'm gonna have bets on who gets hurt, and then we should have a media contest.
Oh my goodness, my Achilles ruptured just hearing that.
Yeah, I know that.
I played my final game when I was 49, and I started that pass pattern when I was 48.
Gee.
I scored a touchdown in the final game I played. Mark Anderson threw a beautiful pass back in the end zone.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, Dr. Mark Anderson, former principal of Luther College High School, best touch football quarterback ever.
Look at Candy. She just loves it. She heard her name. Okay, before we let you go, you came in here to the studio today, and you said you had a dream about me.
Yeah, you were the Regina Pats starting goaltender.
I'm not of age for starting. I love those kind of dreams. So it makes no sense. Okay.
It was in the dream. Greg Drennan, the former Leader Post sports editor, like the best.
Yeah.
Greg told me to go out to the Agrodome and bring back a Pat story. Their season openers tomorrow, and nobody's there. And all of a sudden, Barney Shynkaruk walks out, and I go, Barney, thank goodness you got to talk to me about the season. Like it's your first start for the Pats. I don't want to talk. I talk to somebody else. I said, but you're the starting goalie, and you're the only one here, and I got to take a story back to the newsroom. So I interviewed you, and then you ran away, and then I went I went to A&W and had a Grandpa Burger. That was my dream.
I never played goal, but I was always a goalie geek. What kind of gear did I have? Did I have a cat eye mask like the old 80s brown stuff, or was it paint? Yeah.
You were just in like pregame t-shirt and sweats and stuff.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
I've always thought I loved. Remember back in the 80s, and some of the goalies when
at my age, you have to be clarify that. Is the 1880s or the 1980s you're talking about?
When goalies first started having colored equipment.
Oh, it was wild.
Yeah, and
I remember the start of colored masks.
I saw a picture the other day of Daniel Bouchard for the Quebec Nordiques, and he had the DNR pads, and I always remember as a kid going, wow. And then Yari Taco from the Minnesota North Stars had all white gear. Grant Fuhr, but even we look back to Patrick Waugh's rookie season, like a blue blocker, everything else was brown.
And how small all the equipment was, and no rink board ads.
Yeah. And
By the way, buy my book on maskless goaltenders, published by Triumph Books in 2023.
Yeah. Good plug.
A lot of mask evolution.
And the 2-line pass was in play. What a dumb rule. When you look back at it, eh?
I know. What were they doing?
I try to tell my kids this, and I'm like, yeah, back in the day, there was a 2-line pass.
They would have whistled that.
And you think of why would they ever do that?
Like, there's things that I just have never, like when the New York Yankees used to have the Monument Park in the outfield.
Yes.
Or that little
Houston?
Houston. What is that? How did anybody ever think that was a good idea? Right?
Yeah, the Monument Park. Yeah, that's wild.
When I played slow pitch, people thought it was Monument Park because I was in the outfield and I just could not or would not move. So
big slow pitch.
I got to know a lot of pigeons back then.
Hey, that's why you're with one right now on Tuesdays. Thanks so much.
Hey, you cashed in on your Del Duncan Busby bet.
I take him every week.
Oh.
But have I taken it on the chin for the rest of the week? And that's just not the rider. Back to the Hamilton game. And then it was the over. I had the under in the Montreal. Who did Montreal play last week? Ottawa. I'm like, well, this game's an under. Nope. I had Edmonton to win by 6 against Winnipeg. Nope. And then besides the Del Duncan Busby and Horvath anytime touchdown, which was terrible value, I didn't win much. It's been a bad week, but...
Well, and I added to that, so great to see you, Barney. Good luck with your fledgling goaltending career.
Anytime you need an interview. Next time, let me know what kind of gear I have.
If there's a sequel to this
Yes.
dream, I'll let you know.
Exactly. Oh, and unfortunate news, Dolly Parton passed away.
That is so sad.
80 years old.
And I saw on Instagram a friend of mine named Doug Campbell. He works at
I know that name.
at the venue in Moose Jaw, and he posted a photo with Dolly Parton when she was there 10 years ago, and he put in his in the caption about how nice she was, how she as soon as the photo was taken, there's just this explosion of laughter, how nice her crew was, how much they just all loved each other, and it sounds like everything that you saw with Dolly Parton on the screen was exactly who she was. I've said a lot of times, sometimes people are stars for a reason. Yeah. You know, they're great because they're great. People say don't meet your heroes. I've never had a letdown meeting heroes. I've understood that they're great for a reason, whether it's Oscar Peterson, whether it's Joey Walters, whether it's Barney Shynkaruk. But sometimes it's some of the wannabes that have a chip on their shoulder. But the greats are usually great for a reason. And Dolly Parton, that's probably an understatement to call her great.
Okay, do you have a favorite Dolly Parton song?
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
That's with one good game with the Pats, your goals against average will go from 9 to 5.
Rob Vanstone on Tuesdays. It's always awesome, isn't it? It's the SportsCage streaming through our YouTube channel.
Or same percentage.
At sportscage.com. Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed American wide receiver Shamir Bridges, 6'4", 208, brings his all-star pedigree to the Riders, having appeared in 33 games over 3 seasons with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tiger Cats signed American quarterback Cameron Peters today. The team announced today that they've released Jared Dagey. He's played for a lot of CFL teams in his young career. Baseball tonight, Blue Jays, big one. They're all big now in Kansas City to take on the Royals. First pitch, 5:07. SportsCage.com poll, what do you think of the rare emotion from Riders quarterback Trevor Harris and their loss to BC on Sunday? Go to SportsCage.com and vote on that. Ticker is for Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater and softener. Just $1.20 a day. You also can get $400 cash back. Some conditions apply. Call Reliance Heath. It's always a pleasure when Rob Vanstone comes in. Colson. Always, always, always a pleasure.
Every time.
Makes me, I was a goal. When he walked in today, and that's the first thing he said to me. Hey, I had a dream about you. You're the starting goalie of the Regina Pats. I'm like, what round did I go in the draft? That's what I should have asked that too. instead of my gear. 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. I'm having a bit of a debate here with our boy Stan from Red Deer. Stan's thinking Jeté, there was maybe another route, which I understand, Stan, and we can sit here and disagree on this all day. But like I said, I am almost positive. And the reason is because I hated throwing slant patterns. I hated them from grade 10 all the way until I was 30, whatever. Because I just feel so many, if a guy's right there, so many bad things can happen. And if your guy tips it, guess what's behind him? Not one of your guys, usually the other guy. So I think Jeté's got to keep running that route. He bailed. He just kind of stopped running the route, basically. And, yeah. Karen, have to score points in the red zone. Penalties do need to be addressed. Trevor Harris is a very classy guy. Will not throw his teammates under the bus, but definitely look frustrated. Injuries are definitely hurting the team. Hopefully they can turn it around. Karen, that's a fantastic text message to the Prairieland Rentals text line, and even how you laid it out, because this thing is very difficult to read, especially with my old eyes. That was perfect, Karen. Thank you very much for sending it in the way you did. James, been a week since I talked to you. He says, hey, boys, 5 plays basically decided that game. Oh, James, we're going to disagree. We are going to disagree on that. But I'll read it anyway. Nothing wrong with 8 and 4. With 8 and 4 after LD, after Labor Day, is what we're striving for. Shamir Bridges signed today. That might mean 88 is hurt, but what do I know? No, good message, James, and I told you I'd read it, but I do not think it was just 5 plays. Okay, keep them coming. Hour 2. It's already an hour in the books. We need Sean to call back, or guys like Sean. Made things blow by. Arash Madani is joining us to start. It's the Sports Cage. We're back after the news. Welcome back to the Sports Cage on this Tuesday. Colson is with me for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation. Rider scratch tickets, a few left out there, and some big prizes. Your odds are pretty good, is what we're really saying. Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50, by the way. Buy a 50-50 ticket this weekend for the game. Buy it before Thursday night online at riders5050.ca because... senor. Early bird prize. Mexico. Family escape. 2 adults, 2 kids. This is a new one. All inclusive in Mazatlan, Mexico. How's the proper way to say it? Mazatlan. I forget. I'd like to go there though. 7 nights, Rio Emerald Bay, 5-star. Whew, a 5-banger. In Mexico. Or you can take $5,000 cash. I think you take that family package all day long. Riders5050.ca. All right, but before Thursday night at 10 p.m. A couple of you have messaged in pick the score already for SaskTel. We haven't queued that yet. We might be taking a caller. We don't know when we're doing that. Coulson and I haven't figured that out yet, so you've jumped the gun. The proverbial gun. Dean on the Prairieland Rentals text line as we await for Arash Madani. Good to see the Riders have signed a big wide receiver. I like that, Dean, too. I think we were missing a big play guy on offense that can stretch the defense. Dean. Okay, Dean, I like what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying. And, Dean, I wish you would call in. Do we really stretch the field, though? Like, that's the other thing watching the last couple of games. Does Trevor really stretch the field? Is he stretch the field guy? Right? As a Patriots fan, I watched it for a number of years. The later year, Tom Brady, the later years, he wasn't stretch the field. He would just dissect it and pick it apart. So I don't know if we got that fastball. I don't know if we got that long ball to stretch the field. But I'm very interested to see Bridges as well. Thanks, Dean, for the message. Dan and Bollier had to correct the great Rob Vanstone. And Rob said he was sorry. He said, the Riders, he was talking about the playoffs, not the West final. I'm going to give a shout out to the Men's Masters Fastball National starting tonight in Saskatoon. The host, Saskatoon Brewers, start at 8 p.m. Games all week. Bob Van Imp and Joe Gallagher Field, along with Glen Reeve Park. Playoffs are this weekend. Go Brewer. I am in town Thursday night. Let me know what time the beer garden is open till on Thursday. I can walk to Bob Van Imp from my mother's house where I'll be staying. Thanks for the message, Millsy, on the text line. We'll get to the rest of these in a bit on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, but he is now here. Let's go talk to Arash Madani.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Mr. Arash Madani.
Barney, how we doing, my man?
Where are you today?
I am, there's a new subway line in Toronto, and I'm going across town, so I had to actually stop, and you may hear a train whoosh by.
Oh, okay.
That's where I am.
I like it. Big city stuff. I like it. Big city stuff. Hey, my buddy Arash is catching a subway.
Something like that. I was listening before coming on about this whole myth of stretch the field. I just don't think that exists, Barney. And especially if we start thinking about the West playoffs, and if the West final is to go through Regina, or the Grey Cup is in Calgary this year, November, stretch the field, outdoors, in the elements. Like, we're coming off a championship game last November where Trevor Harris could not have been more efficient. Right? I was just looking it up. 23 of 27, 302, completion percentage 85, a Grey Cup record. Efficiency rating 119.7. Like, that's as good as you're going to get, right? Stretch the field. That means his average completion was 13.1 yards. So, to me, football, especially Canadian football, almost has two halves to it. One is the first half of the season, but then comes the second half of the season where the elements play such a major factor. The wind, the snow, the ice, the da-da-da-da-da. Stretch the field is just a myth.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say to maybe rebuttal that a bit is if you have a guy that can stretch the field, then you really open up a lot of other stuff with routes underneath, right? Because sometimes you could take one or two. The Randy Moss days, you take two guys. Take two guys with him. All right, Wes Welker, do your thing. Or Chris Hogan or whoever, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, I know. And
who's going to do that here?
Like, you bring up a really good point, though, about elements. And you start throwing football when it's rainy and windy and cold and sleet and snow. And yeah, those days of garbage flying over the field, and I didn't really want to sugarcoat a lot of things when I started the show. I haven't looked too good the last 2 weeks. Like, Rider fans, I get it. Rose-colored glasses, but even the not the hardcore fans, but the fans. You know, they're gambling. They're here. They're from here. They're cheering for the team. They're like, oh boy, you know, like, we don't look too good. And BC look good.
Looks good. And to me, I think these are two. Obviously, every game's its own entity and they're separate. But these are almost two separate narratives, Barney. Like the Hamilton game 2 weeks ago, you and I were texting that night. To me, that's a clunker. That just happens in the course of the season.
For sure.
Where just nothing goes right and, you know, you flush it, you wash it. The BC game, to me, exposed some wounds. To me, the BC game showed, there's a little trouble here that needs addressing, and I don't know how it quickly gets addressed. And suddenly you're 6-2, you're going to Hamilton, a chance to be 7-2 at the midway point of the season, all is well. And now suddenly it's not, and you're 6-4, and you're like, wait a minute. Nathan Rourke's healthy. BC's won 4 in a row, and their offense has come to life. Like suddenly the West could go through Vancouver for a team that started 1-5. I know there's a lot of football to go, but that BC team looked far superior to that Rider team the other night.
I always want to see BC play, although they came in here last year and almost beat us. Let's remember that in the West final, and it was chilly. I always want to see them play in the elements. Now, if they bring things back to the left coast and they get to host things, I had to fill in and host the call-in show on Sunday, and as an e-bug, I haven't hosted a call-in show in probably 30 years. It's fun.
How was it? Yeah. What did people have to say?
It went by so fast because people are calling in, right? And it's like the old days when I used to do Swap and Shop or whatever in Shaunavon and Swift Current, and great programs, by the way. It went by. And people, so at the start of it, Arash, people wanted to talk about the reffing and the blame, and then I gave them till 10 after the hour. I said, we got 3 minutes left for you guys to complain about the refs. And then we're washing that. We are not going to do this all show because it's a professional league. It's not my flag team getting hosed on a Sunday. Also, it's not a senior hockey team getting hosed.
They put up 6 points in 3 quarters.
Look in the last 2 weeks what they've put up. Exactly.
Right. So that's why Shamar Bridges had to happen today. That's why a jolt of something needed to go on. I got to start looking into the Gino Lewis thing because I suddenly think this is really starting to get interesting. Is Gino just kind of hanging around? Let's wait a couple more weeks. Let's wait till mid-September, then kind of look at the landscape and say, okay, what makes the most sense for me in my landing spot when it comes to chance to win, health of quarterback, standings, But I like the Bridges move because it costs you nothing. And I've always been a fan of that guy. Like, obviously, the rookie season in 24, he can be an impact player on the football field.
But the only thing, devil's advocate here, why is he available? Like he's still so young. That's the red. That's a little bit of the red flag for me.
Sure, and you never know what goes on in a locker room. What's said, happiness, unhappiness, talking his way out of town, or production, or
Needs
whatever.
To get out of town.
We've seen those stories a million times, haven't we? He also just kind of fell out of favor with balls going around. Like Wheatfall has really emerged. Lawler's obviously Lawler. Keandre Smith's in that mix. Curly Gittins, like there's only so many balls to go around. Sometimes it just happens.
Well, then he ain't gonna like it here because that thing's spread around here. And if some guys get healthy, don't expect to be that guy in Madden that you're throwing to every time.
That's a big if, though. Doesn't it feel that way? Like, when are people coming back? Like, they get Keyshawn Johnson's doing his thing, and I guess Johnny Johnson. I don't know. I just look at it and I say to myself, look, this guy can come in and help with no risk.
I guess he can return punts too. That's what I found out from a very knowledgeable CFL insider. So
look at you. Mr. Special Teams.
Big. I know everything about special teams when it comes to the CFL. I don't even know special teams about my Patriots, let alone the CFL. Now, do you want to briefly? They touched on this yesterday, and I feel that it's been a lot. But everything that's happening in Ottawa, Sean Burke out, Jim Pop in. You kind of predicted that. So I'll give you a pat on the back.
Yeah, they're 0-10, and if they think bringing Jim Pop in because he's got some contacts in the UFL is going to upgrade their roster completely, I just don't. Here's what's become very clear, Barney. The decision makers in Ottawa just have no idea what they're doing. And like with every move, that just continues to become more and more clear. So, like this thing, adding a few UFL guys, great. What's that going to be? roster spots 38 onwards to get to your 46.
We have an all-star, Derek Roberson, in Saskatchewan. He was like all-star, and I totally forgot he was on the field until like midway through that game on Sunday.
Right. So, I don't know. I get you want to upgrade your talent. I know you want to upgrade your players. The whole structure over there is a mess. How they're going about it is a mess. But it's also, like, to me, a telltale sign about complete mismanagement of the quarterback position. We've talked about this before, Barney. They let Trevor Harris walk over a $5,000 discrepancy in a signing bonus. And look what's happened over there since. And they were hell-bent doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on Jeremiah Masoli and Drew Brown, and then on it goes. It's just been a failure at every area of the organization. By the way, God bless Colson. He just found a highlight. He found a Red Blacks touchdown. That is good work back there, Colson. I didn't know those existed.
That was Henry Burris throwing.
That's Henry Burris.
So
right. Greg Ellingson. I got you.
Dated May 29th.
Yeah, the letting Harris walk for $5,000 is like, it's not as dumb as Cleveland with Deshaun Watson and his deal. It's in the top 10 for stupid football moves. Okay, let's. What do you know about this NCAA NFL, where a guy gets cut from the NFL? They're allowed to go back to the NCAA, but now the Big Ten is saying no, not so fast. Which this all could go to court, and this could be a wild ride, and affecting more than just football down the road.
So, in reading about it, try to explain this in the most English way possible. There is new legislation that allows players to play 5 years. Your clock starts, you get 5 years. Well, after 4, some after 3 years, some after 4, declare for the draft. You can now go through the draft process or be an undrafted free agent and go to an NFL camp. You can make a few bucks. You can make your signing bonus. But you can, if you feel this isn't for you, if you get cut, if this thing isn't working out, and you still have a year or two of eligibility left, you can go back.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So here's the thing, Barney. This goes on in Canada all the time. Except the money's different. You sports dudes show up to training camp, they've been drafted, whatever, junior guys, and then they go on their merry way. Well, the legislation, though, is very specific that if somebody goes back to college, like there's a guy going back to LSU, joining with Lane Kiffin, he's got to forfeit his NFL money, which is fine if you're an undrafted free agent because you're making more going back to college.
Yep.
So now the Big Ten saying we're not going to do this, which may end up in courts because you're preventing somebody from earning a living, which is what NIL is. And this is about to become a real slippery slope.
It's going to be wild. Now, I'm trying to look up here. Big Ten teams, when they play out of conference, what would happen?
Great question. And then what happens when you get to the college football playoff?
What happens when you get to the playoffs was my next question.
Bowl game, right? Like we are living in such uncharted territory all over the board.
Jeez.
I go back to Kurt Signetti's line, Barney. Indiana's coach, they just won a national championship, turns around, a terrible program. He said, I am recruiting production, not potential.
Yeah.
They aren't even bringing high school kids onto campus anymore. They are just living in the portal.
If you're a high school football, I should get someone on to talk about this from down there. If you're a 5-star recruit, okay, let's get rid of that small percentage. But if you're a really good football player and you're going to play college football at some point, Now, though, you might have to JUCO, like go to junior college. You might have to try and figure out a lesser school and then transfer because common sense says we're going to do like what Nebraska, we're going to take older kids. We're gonna take a kid that's got 4 years on the young kid, almost a man.
Here's what's happened. If you think back to how NFL drafts were 5 years ago, 10 years ago for sure, and beyond, there was always a bit of a red flag or a stigma if a player transferred schools. Teams always wanted to get to the bottom of, wait a minute, why would they have left this place? Was there an issue with the coach? Well, blah, blah, blah. Now, in this wild, wild west world, coaches and talent evaluators are saying, wait a minute, you haven't transferred? What's up? What shouldn't we know? What gives here that, of why you haven't left? It's amazing. It's done a complete 180 in such a short period of time.
There's a parallel between our demographic and the younger demographic, and even our parents. Was it Ali? Is that your dad's name?
Ali, what a memory.
Ali, my boy from out in the East Coast. I should go visit him when I'm there next month. But it's almost like our parents and even us we're like loyal. We stay we're staying working with. We're the new kids. It's like what? I'm 35. I've had 6 different jobs and 3 professions. Right? Change. Okay, so at the end of the day, though, just so people are following, there's these people there are these athletes at NFL camps that they could get cut, past waivers, mind you, and then they're going to go back and play college football. And why wouldn't you? Because you're making so much money. If you're good enough to be at an NFL camp and you're stretching it out here a while, you're going back to college and making some dough. And it's college.
Give or take. And it's college. Give or take on a practice roster. If you last the entire season on the practice roster as a development player, and it's gone up considerably in the last 20 years, you're making around 190,000 US. That same player goes to LSU, Alabama, a Power 5 school.
Yeah.
It's a 7 at a comma.
Yeah. Big time. It's funny because I was just talking to a guy today about that's going to happen in junior hockey, where these major junior, which you're familiar, major junior out there, Quebec, Major League, Ontario, whatever, same with the Dub. These teams are going to start bringing in an 18 or a 19-year-old, maybe even a kid that's played junior A, that scored 45 goals in a junior A league. Well, you're going to bring in this man, or you're going to go with a 16 or 17-year-old. Yes, you're developmenting, but you're trying to win. So you're going to bring in the man.
Right. And this is what's going to be interesting. The unintended consequence of this is 2 things to me. From a college standpoint, you have no alumni base anymore from a player standpoint. Dudes who spend 4 years at 4 different schools, they have no affinity towards a place. That's 1. 2, because there's no real development system, how raw and how undeveloped are players 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round of drafts who haven't really been in the trenches with one place. They're getting different voices in their head, learning from different people. I think the pro level is actually going to, the level of play is going to dip a little bit because of that.
When's the last time you listened to a Dolly Parton song?
Well, about 10 of them in the last 3 hours. Because anywhere you go, Jolene.
Is that your favorite?
I think so.
That's a good tune.
I think so.
It's well written, right? Kind of like Coat of Many Colors, well written country song.
Sure.
Really hits the feels. Really. I'm standing, and I've said it on the show darn near 50 times, I bet. Hands down, one of my favorite songs, let alone Dolly Parton songs, Hard Candy Christmas.
Ooh.
I might listen to it on the way home.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Raise a glass to her tonight.
Yeah, pour one out for Dolly. All right, buddy. Talk to you on Thursday. Have fun at your fancy subway station.
Sounds good.
See ya.
See you in a couple days.
There's our guy in the big city. He's doing a hit from the subway station. That's the kind of commitment we love here on the Sports Cage. Arash Madani is brought to you by another beauty, Brian Golly. Smart investing solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly and his team. Guaranteed Brian Golly is listening to some Dolly Parton tonight. It's the kind of guy he is. Yeah, man, it's fun to catch up with Arash. It's the Sports Cage. Let's go to break. We're coming back. Hey, trivia people. We're going to be playing trivia right away. Get your dialing fingers ready. It's a Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. I don't follow a lot of WNBA, but I do know that last night Angel Reese set a new WNBA single game record with 26 rebounds and broke the single season rebounding mark in the Atlanta Dream's 78-71 win over the Los Angeles Sparks. 26 rebounds.
Does it break down how many are offensive and defensive by chance?
It probably does, but I don't have that in my portfolio.
I'll try and pull that up. Mine that I was going to give is I'm going to give mine out to our good friend Stuart Johnston, because he said the CFL was going to have a new website and a new app. Mm-hmm. And I saw a posting today. They're in final stages of testing, so we'll be seeing it very soon. So I'm like, hey, man's sticking to his word.
You know, maybe I should get Harry on too to co-host one of these days when it's kind of a downtime, although we're getting busy. The other thing is the PGA Tour. And I just caught the end of this, so I just pulled it up.
With their rule changes.
In 2028, they're going to introduce a new 2-tier structure, Championship Series and Challenger Series, completely overhauled, 2-week match play postseason for the tour. That's where you're playing against the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Match play golf's awesome. I was just up in Waskesiu last week for the junior lobstick watching match play, watching kids not give each other putts that are like this long. It's like, just pick the ball up. It's like, give him the putt. It's literally hanging on the edge. Yeah, that's going to be... We're going to look back on that in 10 years, golf fans. There's golf fans out there like me and go, I can't believe they used to do that other stupid thing that no one really cared about and watched. This, I'm going to watch. This, definitely watch. So, Clutch PGA Championship. Do you got any other ones?
No, I think I might have, but I've lost it now.
It's okay. Let's. Can I pivot here? Can we get into trivia?
Sure. Let's go.
It's time for SportsCage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Oh, another clutch performer I should give is the beer gardens are open till midnight at that tournament in Saskatoon this week. So, great. Okay, here's the deal. You have to call in to win this. Can't text, call in. If you haven't won anything on 620 CKRM in the last 30 days, the number 936-6262, area code 306. If you want us to get the tab toll free, 1-866-767-0620. 1-866-767-0620. If you haven't won in the last 30 days, start calling now. Because even if you don't get it right, you get a free lunch to PumpJacks Cathedral. Okay? And 306-936-6262. Here's the question. We're playing for $50 today. CFL, I said, right? What is the most penalties by a team in a single CFL game? How many? How many penalties by one team in a single CFL game? 306-936-6262. Toll free 1-866-767-0620. If you haven't won anything on this fantastic radio station in the last 30 days, we're playing for $50 at PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia, which I said Saturday before the game, If you're not going tailgating, PumpJacks Cathedral. Pick up a wheel at Western Pizza. Maybe go by the tailgate. Go by PumpJacks first, though. Get your drink on. Actually, take some takeout from there. And then after the game, they'll have live music. 13th and Albert. It'll be rocking at PumpJacks Cathedral. Look at that. Phone line's lit up. Colson, do you have a name?
Yeah, we can go right now.
Okay. Who do we got?
We got Glenn from Salt Spring.
Glenn from Salt Spring?
Yep.
Ooh, that sounds fancy. That sounds like a spa. I'd like to go there. Where is Salt Spring?
It's on the west coast. It's in between the mainland and Vancouver Island.
Oh, okay. So if you win this, are you going to come to town and use it, or are you going to give it to somebody?
I'll probably give it to my daughter.
Oh, Glenn, good guy out there in fancy Salt Spring. All right. Okay, the question, $50, PumpJacks Cathedral on the line. Most penalties by a team in a single CFL game. How many? Take a guess.
I'm going to say 20.
You're close, Glenn, and your daughter's going to get a free lunch anyway at PumpJacks Cathedral. 27 by Hamilton against Winnipeg in 1992. The game had 46 in total. Interesting stuff. Yeah. What's the weather in Salt Spring? What's the weather like right now? Give us a weather check.
It's like 28 above and smoky.
Oh, yeah, the fire's out there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's all coming from the States.
Yeah. Damn them.
Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah,
Right.
well, we should let Trump know that, because I think the smoke goes both ways, right?
Okay, stay on the line. Colson's going to take your information. We'll get you that free lunch. Thanks for playing. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, right on. All right, so that means next week we're playing for $100 at PumpJacks Cathedral. 13th and Albert. What a patio too. Got to mention that. Beauty patio there. It'll be a good place before and after the game. On Saturday, Trevor on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Hamilton moved to Canadian receiver in that spot, so they got rid of White as well for similar reason. Still good receivers. Talking about Bridges coming into the Rider camp. All right, Trevor. Thanks. But still, I don't like getting rid of good athletes. Yeah, I don't think you do either. Okay. James said, I like this. Here we go. James said 5 plays basically decided that game. And he's listed them. Colson kindly advised Barney accordingly. Number 1, Harris underthrew 3, who was wide open in the end zone. 2, 80 stops running his route and subsequent interception. 3, 88 goes 35 yards, coughs up, fumble. We're in field goal range, red zone. 4, Hardrick hands to the face penalty, negates the Connolly 50-yard romp for a TD. 5, no yards on a punt return, and Weeb fumble return for TD. James, I like that, James. I'm going to give you some kudos there, James. Really good. But it's not played like that, doesn't play out like that. It's not Stratomatic football. We're not using cards here, right? There's other things that would have came along. So if Harris doesn't throw that, then how does the play shake down? We weren't a good team. We weren't the better team on the weekend. But I like that. Thanks, James. Break time. SportsCage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. All right, welcome back to the show. Colson's doing fantastic work on the board there. Throwing him for a loop. SportsCage on this Tuesday for Sask Lotteries. The Rider Scratch ticket still out there. Main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation. So go buy one of those. Some of those great. Some of the big prizes are still available. If you go back and listen to a podcast for him, you're gonna get. Was it Sean from Arkansas?
Yep.
Who started the show with a call-in. Sean gets it. Sean's from down. He's visiting his buddy who's a pilot or pipe mechanic.
Airplane mechanic, yeah.
Yeah, in Moose Jaw. I would think he's at the base.
Probably.
And he called in talking on the show. It was a great start. Rob Vanstone, Arash Madani. Podcast is brought to you by Freeze Tallman Lumber. Fort Capel and Regina. Text lines open 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you get to deal with the owner if you want to have your say on anything. All right, Kevin in Regina is saying, not really hitting the panic button yet, but if we lay another egg on Saturday, then that'll be a different story. I think a hot start is the key on Saturday. Get the joint jumping, and then we roll. And when Rob Vanstone was here in hour one, he said they're already pushing over 30,000 or around 30,000 people in the stadium. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see on a Saturday in August. A big crowd. All right. But I started the show saying, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We were not the better team on Sunday. How we were close at half, was that an anomaly? Was that maybe a fugazi? And then BC took over. James doing his research, giving me 5 plays that he thinks turn the game there. 5's a lot. That's the other thing. Maybe 1 or 2. 5 is a problem. And BC said it on Sunday. They're Shawshank. Not good at the start, not good when it came out in theaters, but then after you're going, a great movie. How did we not see this? BC is a good team. BC is a good team. Jackson Ford. Now, I interviewed him a couple weeks ago behind the face. Great kid, great guy, local guy. But Justin Dunk, who I'm hoping to have on the show tomorrow, on the call-in show on Sunday, he's at a rough stretch here. And teams are starting to pick on us at safety. Now, I know some of you are going to text in, and I think somebody already did. We cannot just move people to safety. When Glen Suitor comes on in hour 3, that's one of the things I'm going to ask him to break down for us. But if you've played football or coached it out there, you know, just because a kid is a really good cornerback, what position did you play? You didn't play. Your brothers played. Out in
I
Reno.
played left bench for 1 year.
See, that's saying, hey, Cole, you want to move you to middle bench. It's different.
That's asking a lot.
Yeah. It's tough to move guy, and safety is such an important position.
Yeah. Technically, I was the 3rd string wide receiver. Never went in. We'll leave it there. But yeah,
We should call your coach out. What was your coach's name? Why didn't you put him in?
Because I was in grade 9.
Okay. Off the hook then.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure he's still coaching Greenock Griffins. But my next oldest brother, he played cornerback. Could catch the ball actually a little bit. Not like all of them, but he played cornerback. I don't think he ever went to safety. Next brother played wide receiver and quarterback, depending on the year. And then...
you guys should have been curlers. You guys have a family curling team.
We've all done a bit of curling.
Did you?
Yeah. Believe it or not, I was also the 5th for curling. So I just got to back everything up.
You didn't even have your own slider or broom. You just had to use everybody else's stuff.
Yeah, didn't have my own jersey or anything either. Yep. But
I don't know what the answer is, what they do there. If you think you have an idea for the Riders at safety, do you just go with the growing pains of letting Ford play back there and learning as we go and coach them up? At the professional level though, I don't know how much coaching you do. Can you get better? Another maybe question for Glenn.
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing I do know is you can't just say that guy's an amazing cornerback. Guy's an amazing halfback. We're putting him at safety. It just doesn't work. It's different. And at this level, whoa, A lot coming at coming at you. 4 turnovers. Right there, right? And we scored 16 points.
Yep.
Unless it's a blizzard or a typhoon or a whatever weather pattern you want where you can't move the ball. Scoring 16 points, you ain't going to win many CFL games. And then you go to the week before where we scored 19. Oh, boy. Ooh. So, what is 2 a trend? Is 3 a trend? Do we start worrying now? I'm half alarm guy right now.
I think 3 is a trend.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And yes, there are injuries, but didn't we say this early in the year when BC was a little decimated? Then Hamilton had it. Winnipeg. Every team deals with injuries. We've been actually pretty good on the offensive line and defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive secondary is where it started. Then it kind of spread into the receivers like a bad cold sore. That's where we are now. The one thing we ain't talking about last 2 weeks, Colson, is
kicking.
Alex Hale. He's like Dave Ridgway with Chris Sabo glasses on out there.
I think he's 7 of his last 7 now.
Look at this. If you're watching the stream right now, doesn't this guy reek of confidence when he goes into his go through here? But we're all sitting. I'm sitting there going, oh boy. And then right down the middle.
47-yarder. Easy.
Just the amount of weight on that.
I think that was a 7-iron there he used, or
50 gap wedge. The amount of pressure that he would have been on 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, but that comes with the business. Sorry. It's like having to make unrealistic sales quotas. It comes with the business a lot of times. So that's nice to see. Very, very nice to see. We haven't talked about this much, and every sports show in the world talks more than just sports. Do you listen to it, right? It just is. So we talk a lot of pop culture here, lots of food. Music. Dolly Parton, 80 years old. I called my mother today, who's 85, and she was like, what, she was that old already? I said, well, people died. I'm 50 next year. I got weird stuff going on. Dolly Parton. 936-6262 if you have a favorite. Jolene, that was Arash's. 9 to 5 was Rob Vanstone's.
Yep.
Do I dare ask you if you had a favorite Dolly Parton song?
I don't know if I had a favorite, but I definitely knew. I know Jolene, I know 9 to 5. Those are both good.
How about Coat of Many Colors? Have you ever heard that song?
I believe so.
It's a good story. A lot like Ruben Mays. Or Ruben Mays? He's a running back. What was the Kenny Rogers one? Really good story. Kenny Rogers and Dolly were really close. In the 80s, Colson, even I was a kid, thought something was going on there. I was like, Dolly and Kenny, they sing a lot together. They hang out a lot together.
Mm-hmm. Another good one, which I didn't actually realize that this was hers until more recently, but I Will Always Love You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the OG.
Yep.
Dolly was the OG, and then Whitney Houston knocked that thing out of the park. Islands in the Stream, I was just going to say it, Bulls fan down in the USA. That's her and Kenny doing their thing. How good is that Christmas album of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton? We don't have to... I know we're how many months away from doing our bracket maybe again. And you all know, if you've been listening to the show for the last 2 years, one of my favorite songs, Hard Candy Christmas by Dolly Parton. I put that, John Lennon, all those songs, get away. Give me some Hard Candy Christmas. Islands, look at all these Islands in the Stream fans coming on the text line. Huh. Who would have thought? 9 to 5, yeah. Lots of people like their 9 to 5. I Will Always Love You, for sure.
Yep. My high school did 9 to 5, the musical, the year after I graduated. So just
The musical?
Well, because it's not that the musical isn't 9 to 5, but what is it called now? I can't remember.
Anyways, that would be interesting to see.
Or is it called 9 to 5?
A lot of Dolly Parton. She was an actress too. She just did some acting in her day. Dolly was a rocket in the 80s too.
No, it is a musical called 9 to 5. Okay.
She was probably one of the top looking country singers for like a long. Yeah, no, passes away at 80 years old. It is a Sports Cage. Colston and I for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. Riders are bringing in some receiver help. Americans, Shamir Bridges, 6'4", 208. He had an all-star season, appearing in 33 games over 3 seasons with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tiger Cats signed American quarterback Cameron Peters today. The team announced they also released Jarrett Dagey. Baseball, Blue Jays, Kansas City Royals. All games are big for the Blue Jays now. 5:07 first pitch hour time in and around there. SportsCage.com poll, what do you think of the rare showing of emotion from Rider quarterback Trevor Harris in their loss in BC Sunday? Vote at SportsCage.com. Sports Ticker is for Extreme Hockey and Sport. 3 locations, 2 in Regina, flagship store at McIntyre Street. You go in there, they're fully stocked right now for the season. Female gear, male gear, doesn't matter. They're going to work with every budget. Bring your old gear in. They'll tell you if it doesn't fit and you need something newer. They say, no, you can get another year out of this. Fitted by experts, work within your budget, locally focused, locally owned. Extreme Hockey and Sport. All right, hour 3 coming up. Glen Suitor. Let's ask some good questions to Glen Suitor. Text line, thank you very much. Yes, it wasn't Ruben Mays. He was the running back from North Battleford that played in the NFL. The Kenny Rogers song was Reuben James. We're back after the news. Hour 3 of the show, Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday. Main fundraiser for sport, culture, recreation in Saskatchewan. Still a few Rider scratch tickets out there and some big prizes. Your odds are good. It all stays here in Saskatchewan. What a show so far. It's good to be back. Then I'm only back for like 3 days and I'm gone again on holidays. Traveling with the kids. So good to be back. Glen Suitor's coming up in a moment. If you missed any of the show so far, Arash Madani, Rob Vanstone, podcast forum for Freeze Tallman Lumber. You can go back and listen. We also got Dante Caria from the Regina Pats coming up later this hour talking about camp for the Regina Pats starting on Thursday. First off, let's go talk to Brian Raymond, Flowing Springs Golf Course. Brian Raymond, it's still August. Lots of golf left. People should get out there, take advantage of what you got.
Barney, I'm sitting on our patio right now. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. It's a little bit breezy, but boy, is it nice and warm, sunny, and boy, a ton of people on the golf course right now. It's and folks coming in for our late night twilight, which now starts at 5:30, by the way, to accommodate the ability for people to play 9 holes.
I talked to someone that said they went out there and they had a junior. And they absolutely loved it. Price point, everything down was fantastic. People, the deals are one thing, but it's all skill levels at Flowing Springs. You're welcome and all. And if you don't want to go play golf, you got a driving range with real grass.
Absolutely. And, sometimes, folks who are maybe getting started in the game only want to play 9 holes. We do have a 9-hole rate that's available all the time. Certainly not in our twilight because it's cheaper than that anyways. But, yeah, we've got some great specials. Like tomorrow's Wednesday. Seniors and ladies come out and play for $42. And seniors, you only have to be over 60. And every day after 3 o'clock, it's $40.50. And now after 6:30, or 5:30, it's only $23.50. I mean, we got some great deals. Make it easier for people to come out and play. It's easy to get here too off of Highway 11 and the bypass. So it works out great.
$23.50 to golf after 5:30. What a deal! Before you give us the deal, what's your favorite Dolly Parton song? We lost Dolly Parton today, Brian.
Oh Oh yeah, I know. Is that a shame? I didn't even know she was ill.
She wasn't. I think it just
Coat of Many Colors.
See? Thank you. What a great tune that is. Well written. Well written. Okay. People want to golf. Lots of golf. And people coming in for the weekend. Give you a shout.
I was just going to say, we got a football game this weekend. If you're coming in, you're going to spend some time, bring the sticks, give us a call. We'll get you on the golf course. And again, our phone number, 306-543-5050. Easy to remember. And you can book online at FlowingSpringsGolf.com.
Always great, Brian. We'll talk to you again on Thursday.
You betcha. Take care.
There he is, Brian. Luke Mullender and I were setting up this big match at Flowing Springs. It's going to happen in September. We don't know when, but we're going out to Flowing Springs. Dave Thomas has got to get back on the horse, be able to swing the club. Dave's been dealing with some. Dave's been on the shelf. He's been on the 6th game. So he's going to come back. We're going to have a match.
He's also been on the road.
Yeah, that too. Dave, Sharky, myself, and Luke. We don't know the teams yet. That's how. I think it's Sharky and I versus Dave and Luke is the only. And then I don't know, stroke situation and who's buying beers and hot dogs, and we'll figure it all out. But it's going to be going down at Flowing Springs. Back out. Let's go talk Western Pizza tonight. Oh. When you leave town for a while, you crave Western Pizza. Every time. Western Pizza guest hotline time. We're going to go talk to Glen Suitor.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on The Sports Cage. Brought to you by Freeze Tallman Lumber, locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
The guys and girls at Freeze Tallman are probably pouring one out tonight for Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Music guy, big Nashville guy. When you think of Dolly Parton, Glenn, because Dolly Parton in the 80s, I was a youth. She was it. She was the female bombshell in country music.
Well, I got this shirt, which is a little bit tighter now than when I bought it. But I bought this shirt in Nashville, right on the same trip when I got to see Dolly at the Ryman Theater in Nashville, which has just amazing acoustics. So you can imagine her voice, in that building. But yeah, it's a major loss, Barney. I just, what I loved about her was her, and you guys have mentioned my 3 favorite songs, Coat of Many Colors, Jolene, and 9 to 5. And I think 9 to 5 might be my favorite because I love the movie. It was super entertaining and really funny. I think she kind of made the movie in a lot of ways. With her character and the way she played it. But 9 to 5 to me and the way she sings it, it was kind of like her way of how she handled all of those people who criticized her or made fun of her look or, and she just would always lean into it. She didn't care what people thought. You didn't care if you were ridiculing her for some reason on something she wore on stage or whatever it was. She owned it. And it was her look, and it was great. And she walked into every situation, every interview, every onstage performance that I saw on TV or wherever with just great confidence saying, this is who I am, like it or not. And let's go. Let's sing and and you know how much money she put into charity and flood relief in Nashville. When they had that big flood and lost half of Broadway, Dolly stepped up. She put in millions. There was a huge donation to Vanderbilt University where Dolly put in a ton of money right at COVID to try and help with the finding of a vaccine and the development of a vaccine. She was big in that when it came to Vanderbilt University in Nashville. So, and all of the Dollywood and all of the charity events and things that she had done and raised money for. I mean, her thing was good old country music. I don't care what you think about my look. I am confident and I'm taking on the world. And every time I spend $1 on myself, I'm spending 10 on somebody else that is less fortunate.
She seemed like salt of the earth too.
Yes.
Like just a night. Never met her, never crossed paths in my days as a DJ or whatever the heck I was doing. But yeah, she seems so great. But my favorite Dolly song, said it, I'll go down forever, Hard Candy Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it tonight.
Well, I heard Coat of Many Colors on the way home today. So I heard that on the radio because everybody obviously is playing a ton of songs. But listen to the edge she has in 9 to 5. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's that great. I'm living my dream. I'm going after it, and I'm going to spread the wealth. Don't worry about that. But you can say whatever you want. I just loved how she would lean into it, and it's a huge loss for country music, and I know there's a lot of fans going to be tipping one for Dolly tonight.
I love talking music with our boy Glen Suitor, but let's get down to football here, and not a lot of edge Sunday for the Riders, especially that second half. BC, definitely the better football team. I haven't been sugarcoating it all day. Glenn, you got to call the game. Yeah, assess things, what you saw there.
Yeah, just they weren't the best team on the field. They were the second best team on the field. They didn't put enough points on the board. I think the loss of some their big play receivers, and Emilus comes back, yes, but Keon Schaefer-Baker is a big one. The explosion plays over the last 3 weeks have almost not disappeared, but they've dropped substantially. I mean, if you look 3 weeks ago and then total up their number of big plays down the field over 30 yards, most of them came before the last 3 weeks. They still can do it, but it just has kind of fallen off. And, I know you have talked earlier about the penalties. We don't have to belabor that, but just some terrible penalties and decisions at bad times, crucial times. It was more the timing than it was the total yards. When you take off major plays, like game-changing, momentum-shifting plays, like the one you're seeing on the stream right now, Connolly, that was being brought back by an illegal block. I mean, I don't know how many times we took a shot of Corey Mace that was looking at an official going, what? You got to be kidding me. That was a swing pass for a touchdown, and you're taking that back? I thought one late in I think it was third or fourth quarter, where there was an illegal block and they were getting right down to the red zone. Didn't score on the play, but they were right in the red zone that could have closed the gap in a big way, and it was a really soft holding penalty. But other than those, or other than that particular penalty, the other ones were penalties. And there were a lack of discipline penalties in a lot of ways. Like Jackson Ford plays a seam route where Barry Hill makes an incredible catch with him hitting him at the same time, and then is so mad that he caught it, he gets a late hit penalty the next one. I mean, here's the Barry Hill throw. I mean, that's a good play from the safety. You got to, go for the ball, like hit the go through the receiver's hands. He sort of missed the target a bit, but he comes back on the very next play, and on a push route, he takes a bad penalty. And, I thought it was a little close to bang bang. Like it wasn't real late, but it was late enough that it put it in the hands of the officials. And once you do that, it could go either way, and it went against him. And that was an I'm pissed off penalty.
Yeah.
You can't have I'm pissed off penalties against good teams.
I was the emergency backup Sunday and had to do the call-in show for Tegan, who was under the weather, and it was great. And some really good callers with Justin Dunk and Wes Cates. And we all agreed, but Justin broke it down more because he's like you. He sees more tape. He watches more tape of all games and what teams are doing and tendencies, where they're going to, you're like a coach, right? You're going to pick things apart. He says teams are starting to pick on young Jackson Ford back there. I think there's nothing like simple as a quarterback brain. As soon as he turns his hips, right? You just want him to turn his hips a bit, and then you go. But how Rourke did it on the first Katoy touchdown and comes back left side. Now, I don't know if Jackson's supposed to have help there or he's supposed to get there. But do you see teams maybe picking on young number 21 back there, Glenn, a bit?
I haven't really seen that specifically. I think he had a roller coaster of a game, a couple of missed tackles, things like that. Because what you just saw in the Katoy on the feed there, I'd have to check to see if that wasn't a cover 2. In a cover 2, Jackson would have half the field.
Exactly.
And there'd be a halfback on the other half or a corner, depending on how they rotated that. But you're splitting the deep ball or the deep zones in half when you do that. And by the initial alignment of Jackson on that, he was outside the hash. So to me, it looked like he's playing half field there, not in the middle of the field. So, I think, first of all, it's hard to pick on a safety. Unless that safety is coming down in a cover 0 because it's a halfback blitz and he's taking a man, it's pretty hard to actually pick on him. What you can do, though, and I'd have to go back and look at all the plays to see if quarterbacks are moving Jackson Ford with his eyes.
Their eyes.
Yeah, and not just eyes, but his throwing motion. It's that lead shoulder. It's hard to see from 30 yards away the quarterback's eyes. But what you can see is his throwing shoulder, his off shoulder. Where's his head? And quarterbacks that are veterans, when they're dropping back, they're giving you the false look. I can show you 100 plays where Trevor Harris shows you a false look when he's dropping back as he's just received the shotgun snap, and he's looking to his right hard, and then comes back to the seam.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
On the other side.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is Jackson Ford getting moved by that and undisciplined in that regard? Possibly, and I'd have to look.
Okay, no, I'm glad you cleared that up. We got a texter here. Got to get it to it because when a guy texts in a question to you, I want to get to it. Dale from Red Deer says, Glenn, why do players seem to be body checking to no effect instead of arm tackling like they were taught?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm sure it'll be one that's brought up in meetings when they watch the film to lower your pad level. And listen, I know fans that remember when I played the same position, me missing a bunch of tackles too in my career. But sometimes you're flying across from the middle thinking, I'm gonna blow them up. I'm gonna make a big hit here. Like it's a split second. You're not, it's not a calculated thought. You come out of your back pedal, you're hustling to the seam route, and you just want to deliver. You just want to find a way to throw your body into this. But the question is a good one because it goes back again to the details and discipline. Tackle with your eyes, get your pad level down, bow your neck so you're not going to injure yourself or the other player, and then tackle through his hands and through the ball and then through the player. And that's just fundamentals. It's just fundamentals. And I'm sure they're going to go back to practice and they're going to go over those things because there's been a few of them. It's a good question.
Okay, I want to ask you, explain to people why you just can't move a great cornerback or someone that's really good at half to safety. Why it's not a video game and you just can't do that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people and there's a lot of players in the secondary, a lot of DBs, especially in our game, that think they can play safety. They look at the Canadian kid and they go, you know what, I'm faster than that guy. I could play safety. This would be, and I would fly around and intercept passes. And believe me, I remember tons of them that thought, come on, I could play safety. Here's the breakdown. A corner is generally the all-around faster probably a little more athletic individual. Like they're a player that is great in coverage, great in man-to-man, and the safety is often, I wasn't sort of this style, but there are many that are, and maybe Jackson is a little bit like this, that are looking to be heavy hitters. They want to make a statement in the middle. They have to be smart, and I don't mean to say that other DBs aren't, but in a lot of cases, other DBs aren't as smart as the safety. So, and the reason they need to be that much smarter is that they're making the checks. They're the quarterback of the defense in the back end. They have to make sure they know everybody's assignment so that every time a DB or a linebacker turns and looks at them and says, hey, what do I got on this defense? Because they forgot. You have to have the answer for them. That's what the safety does. And the safety sees the field for its entirety. So when you drop back in the middle, you can be attacked from both sides, whereas a corner has the sideline to help them. And even in our game with the wider field, the corner is always looking from outside in, and everything happens inside him, and he has the protection of the sideline behind him.
Yeah,
so even if there's a wheel route that goes down the sideline, that he will see that develop. The safety has to see the development of and the pattern reading of the entire field. So I remember Barney playing a beer league game, and I was the fourth line center on a 3-line team, but they put me on defense because we for some reason our defenseman didn't come back, and I was on defense, and I said to the guys after my first shift, I said, when you skate backwards and you're going past center and you're watching the play develop coming at you, that is exactly what the safety sees. Yeah. Yeah. It's the exact same sort of look where guys are crossing and you're trying to move it to the outside and down the wing, and you can see it all develop because it's pattern reading. I said, if I could skate backwards, this would be my position.
It's funny. I played like bantam or peewee hockey or whatever with a guy who was an unreal defenseman, and he was a great safety. And then I just said, if you could have a quarterback brain when you bring the puck up the ice, and you're seeing everything like a quarterback does, then you would have a triple threat. But that's asking a lot. So yeah, great question there. Wanted to get that in as well for you, Glenn. Let's go to the other game.
Just to wrap up though, Barney, finish that thought. Just because they're a great athlete and can cover and play corner doesn't mean they can play safety. It's just not that simple, as you said off the top.
I think you got to have the IQ, right? Like, so a guy's got amazing foot speed and fast and quick, and he can cover anybody on a corner. Fantastic. He might not have the IQ to go and play where you're reading a number of different things. You got to know, hey, okay, I know this pattern comes here, then they run the wheel over top of it or whatever it is. Again, I just equated, it's not a Tecmo Bowl where you have the guy and you can, okay, I'm going to play safety with this guy, although he's a corner. It's not how it works. Or else, a lot of people would be playing professional football. I want to ask you, because we're running out of time here today, but I want to get to some of the other things. Sam Emilus, he was cleared to play. He's in there late. He takes some hits. Do you maybe pull him out there, Glenn? Although there's still a chance to win, but it's August.
Yeah, there's just barely a minute left. First of all, I made a point on the broadcast of talking about how gutsy that Sam Emilus was to sell out the way he did to go after that ball with a minute to go and down by 2 scores. I mean, but in our game, I've talked about this a lot when it comes to the quarterback position, that I think there's coaches that leave their star quarterbacks in there too long. And if you're going to take Sam out, then you should probably have taken Trevor out there too. But I would say, in fairness to the coaching staff, in fairness to Trevor and Sam, I bet you they thought they could still come back. And as long as you think, if we get a quick score here and there's a minute and 2 seconds left after the next play, if he makes that catch and then they go ahead and score after that, onside kick, and now you're looking at trying to tie the game. So if it was, I don't know. I understand why they were in there. Ideally, you don't like to see a guy get hurt when it's a game that's basically out of reach at a minute to go. But I've seen 3 scores in 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
I know, but the way the game was going and the momentum and how BC, they weren't, unless you got a couple onside kicks or an onside kick, they weren't giving that ball back. And
no.
Yeah, I know. Okay. We catch up again on Thursday, and we'll tee up things for this weekend. Go pour yourself a stiff one. Put on Dolly's greatest hits, and sit back and relax for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, any country channel will do it. Just put on any country channel, and they're playing Dolly all night. Sounds good.
Okay.
Take care,
talk to you Thursday.
Yeah.
There he is. Glen Suitor, press coverage brought to you by Freeze Tallman. The good girls and guys over there in Fort Capel and Regina, delivery available. Whether it's the lake, the house, whatever you need. And they're more than a lumberyard. They got decking, roofing, windows, doors, siding. Freeze Tallman Lumber. Okay, if you've waited with us, you've been waiting for this all day, we're playing it, but you got to call in. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, on CKRM, 306-936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. Chance to win tickets to the game this weekend with SaskTel. Pick the score. Also a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card right now. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, we need your score for the game this weekend. And also you're going to get 2 tickets to the game against Toronto. They're going to be over 30,000 people, it sounds like, in attendance. 936-6262 or 1-866-767-0620. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Riders signed American wide receiver Shamir Bridges today. You might remember him. Played with Hamilton over 3 seasons. He's 6'4", 208. The Tiger Cats also signed American quarterback Cameron Peters today. Team announced that they have released Jarrett Dagey. Blue Jays are in action against the Kansas City Royals. If you are taping the game, you have 3 seconds to plug your ears. Top of the second. Score is 1-1. SportsCage.com poll. What do you think of the rare showing of emotion by Rider quarterback Trevor Harris in their loss in BC Sunday? Vote at SportsCage.com. Steelcraft Doors in Regina, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert. Tariff-free pricing. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. Okay, Gene was our pick the score winner today. 2 tickets to the tackle football game Saturday, Toronto and Saskatchewan. And her score, 28-21 Riders. Thanks for playing. We got more tickets to give away tomorrow and pick the score. Maybe it'll be a call. Maybe it'll be a text. We'll figure it out. I mentioned this off the start of the show. Did you, maybe you heard us, maybe you didn't. You know, Rod Brindamore, Stanley Cup winning coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, went to Notre Dame for a while, and how it all happened. It's a great interview. It's from Stops and Starts Hockey and Between the Shifts podcast. Here's a little snippet of Rod Brindamore talking about Notre Dame.
Son went to Notre Dame, so we kind of knew of it. So it was just kind of like, okay, we know of this place, and it was just on a kind of, I never visited it. I didn't, okay, we're going to take a chance. And I mean, they're kind of taking a chance. I mean, a little bit. They only see it when they saw me play probably one game. Yeah. The guy that was there said, yeah, you'd probably be good for it. Yeah. And then off you go, So then I went to Notre Dame, and then everything. I mean, it was a great institution. I got lucky. I got around good people. Mm-hmm. I got an amazing coach, Barry McKenzie, who's one of the best coaches I've ever been around my whole life. And he just kind of grabbed me, and it was just, okay. And then, there was a lot of things to fight through at this school, but they had a weight room, and and it was up to you, and then it all worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, in Notre Dame, my son went there for 2 years. I thought it was a great experience with Jeremy Melamuk when he was there.
Yeah.
Now Wade Klippenstein is there now. He's in charge of the program. And, like every other program, it kind of goes through ebb and flows of success, unfortunately, and then some downtime. And Wade's at a point now where he's trying to bring it back up to where it was. But, I mean, you walk into that rink and you see all those pictures and frames, and it's just mind-blowing, the amount of talent and quality people that went through there. John Cooper, Barry Trotz, we could sit here and talk about them all.
You could go all day doing a show on that.
So Notre Dame, obviously you did midget there and junior, right?
Yeah.
How old were you when you went to Notre Dame? Do you remember?
So I'm grade 10. So that'd be, I think I was 15, turned 15. And then played the Bantam year, and I got lucky again. I was good player on the Bantam team, which is, I guess now what am I saying? U16 probably?
Yeah, U16.
Okay,
yeah.
so, and then they actually pulled me up. They had an injury or something on the, I guess, U18 team.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't call it then. It was midget hockey. But and so all of a sudden I'm playing 2 years up.
Yeah.
And that team won the national championship, the Air Canada Cup, they used to call it.
How big were you in that?
I was lucky because there's another thing. I love that. We could talk all day on this because I was physically big enough.
Yeah.
Because I was probably 5'10", but I was strong.
Yeah.
Strong enough to handle playing with the older guys. Mm-hmm. And that was the key.
Yeah, great interview. If you want to go check it out again from the Stops and Starts Hockey podcast, Between the Shifts podcast is where you find it. And he talks about more playing junior as well. Speaking of hockey talk, we are going to go to break. We come back, voice of the Regina Pats, because it's camp time for all WHL teams. We're going to find out what's up with the Regina Pats and Dante to Caria. It's a Sports Cage on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. Welcome back to the Sports Cage on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Get out there, get the last few Rider Scratch tickets. Some of the big prizes still available. All the money stays in Saskatchewan, supporting sport, culture, and recreation. Let's talk a little hockey. It is somewhat hockey season. All WHL camps firing this weekend around Western Canada. Joining us, voice of the Regina Pats, Dante to Caria. Dante, the Pats start. Let's tell the people what they need to know about Pats camp coming up.
Well, I guess we can start off with the schedule, which is the first ever, the inaugural Brad Horning Cup, which will be taking place at the Brandt Center, beginning with on-ice sessions Thursday morning and concluding on, Saturday afternoon before the annual Blue and White game, which has Fan Fest beginning before a 2 o'clock puck drop on Sunday at the Brandt Center. So lots of on-ice sessions. You've got the teams named after some different alumni, Team Steele, Team Eberle. You've got Team Jolly, named after Greg Jolly, the first Regina Pats player to be selected first overall. And then Team Gillies, representing, of course, Hockey Hall of Famer and I think 4 or 5 time Stanley Cup champion Clark Gillies. So that's what you need to know about training camp. We've got some exciting players. In fact, I just saw a players-only skate at the Brandt Center just a couple of minutes ago. It wrapped up, Barney, and I saw Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh playing alongside Parker Trottier, a 6th-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens, who has arrived in Regina. And the 2 of the 3 European players are here. Cermak and Tukio look very good on the back end as well, along with the likes of Reese Hamilton, Colton Bridgman, and even a guy like Matt Peranich, who had a pretty good season last year and is back with the Pats before going the NCAA route potentially next year. And, of course, Zach Lansard is back, a 3rd-round pick of the Carolina Hurricanes. He just announced his NCAA commitment to Minnesota Duluth for his age 20 season. So the Pats essentially have 2 more seasons left of Zach Lansard, potentially 2 years left of Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh. So this is an important year under Dave Bell. Dave has a ton of experience, so this is an opportunity for fans to get to see some of the next wave of young players, but also what this team could do this year.
I want to go first off. I want to go Brad Horning Cup. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Anyone that knows the story, anyone that kind of got to know Brad a bit, exceptional human being and what he had to face in that unfortunate circumstance, obviously. was there even a debate? How did the name come about that it should be the Brad? Because the Pats, a storied franchise, oldest one in the country, there's a lot of names you could throw out there. How did we come to the Brad Horning Cup?
I'm actually happy you asked that, Barney. Actually, a couple of days ago, his mom, Terry, actually stopped by, uninvited, obviously. She just stopped by out of nowhere to the Regina Pats office. And, a couple people were in meetings, and I happened to be walking by the front desk, and she came over and shook my hand and say, I just want to thank you guys, the Regina Pats organization, for naming this after my son. But it was Dale Durkach that decided it. I don't know what other names they were thinking of, but when I actually asked Dale, when he had told me that this is what we were going to do, and myself and Tristan Fry went and got a trophy made for this, Dale said that he was kind of the first name that popped into his head. Dale obviously had known him, being an alumni of the organization. Dale was I think 2 years removed. He said he was playing in Europe when the incident happened, and got to know Brad through the scouting ranks when he scouted with the Chicago Blackhawks, and from being around the Brandt Center. Of course, Dale was involved with the Pats as formerly the head coach, and scouted with the organization, and now the general manager of the Regina Pats. So it was Dale's call. Dan was just a couple years removed from the 1987 season when Brad unfortunately suffered that spinal injury and left him paralyzed. Obviously he went on to have an amazing post-playing career, despite having so many major setbacks without being able to walk and being in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I never had the opportunity to meet Brad. He passed away actually the year I got hired with the organization, but I've heard a lot of stories about him. Yeah, he was a great guy and great scout. Still had a good mind and a good eye for hockey. What's new coach like? Every coach is different. For the most part, you want every coach to be different. A lot of times, what's David Bell like? Well, I think, number one, what we heard at the press conference and what I've learned about Beller over the last couple of months is that he's a fantastic communicator, and he's really spent a ton of time building relationships with these players over the course of the summer. For example, having dinner with Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh and getting to know them, heading down to the Hlinka Gretzky Cup to meet his family, to meet Liam Pugh's family, to spend some time with both of those young players, having one-on-ones with guys like Reese Hamilton and some of the other local players in Regina, such as a guy like Taylor Tabashnik, a Dace Durkach, meeting players as they come through town over the course of the summer. I think it says a lot about Dave's character, the fact that he's moving his kids and his wife to Regina. They actually just bought a house in Harbor Landing here in the city. So he's somebody who's committed to the community. He's committed to the organization. He's going to be here for a while. He brings a ton of coaching experience from the junior ranks to the pro ranks. In order to coach in the American Hockey League, especially as a head coach, you have to be pretty good. So I'll let his track record kind of do the talking, Barney. But the one thing that I've noticed is that he's very smart. He's a people person. He's a player's coach, and he's a really good communicator. I think all the players on the roster will know where they stand. He'll be very communicative when it comes to their roles and what they have to do to earn more ice time. And I'm really looking forward to working with him a little bit more starting tomorrow. See, I was thinking he maybe go Cathedral area. You could walk to work, maybe take a bike, but I guess Harbor Landing, that's okay. And you're and the nickname's Beller. He's not going Bell Z or Bellski, or it's Beller. It's Beller, and actually it was Al Miller who told me that it was Beller originally before I met David Bell. So. Okay. We look at camp, and one thing I wanted to get your take on. I'm going to be asking a lot of the play-by-play guys this over the next little bit, because I think it's the way it's going to go. It's really cool. Lots of opportunity for kids these days. Is where I'm starting to see, even with the Pats, we got some junior A players from last year, different leagues. These junior A players, bringing in a kid now that's maybe an 18, 19-year-old that's had success in junior A, going to be beneficial for dub teams. Absolutely. I mean, you've seen a ton of players pick up junior A caliber players that have turned into WHL players over the last couple of years, because you just never know where you are in your development. Some players become late bloomers. Maybe you have a late birthday and you really kind of turn into a star player as a 19-year-old. I look at Ellis Miette. I mean, he posted over 30 points with the Pats last season. I think he had 11 goals, and he was a really good junior A player in the Alberta Junior League and came over to the Pats and served an important role. And now he's back as a 20-year-old player, and I'm sure they're expecting him. There is 5 20-year-olds on the training camp roster, so they can only keep 3. You can keep 4 up until October 10th. So they're going to have to trim down at some point. So Ellis Miette is a guy that did play Junior A, has an NCAA Division I commitment to Lindenwood University, and does have some experience and has the tools and the ability to be a good top 9 center and somebody that can definitely, fill a spot on this roster. So he's a prime example of, somebody that went the Junior A route. The NCAA ruling changed, and then he signed with the Regina Pats last year. So there are other Junior A invited players on the training camp roster. Another one that stands out is Jet Deschamps. He's 18 years old. He played for the Verdun Oil Capitals last year. He AP'd a couple times with the Pats this season, like on an emergency basis when the team was running through some injuries towards the end of the season in the month of March. He's another guy that's going to be fighting for a spot at camp, and somebody that, has played against older players, obviously having played Junior A last year.
Okay, and you mentioned the Euros have arrived. They're in town. Tell people, have you seen them skate yet? What can people expect maybe to watch out for this weekend if they're going to watch camp?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking, Barney. Yeah, I just watched them skate for a couple minutes at the player-only skate, which was at the Brandt Center. And, I was talking to some of the defensemen about him. I asked Matt Peranich about O.C. Tukio. I asked Reese Hamilton about O.C. Tukio, what's it like to play with him? And they said he really has good vision. He sees the ice well. He skates very well, and he can make plays. Mentioned that he's a pretty good two-way defenseman, kind of comparable to an Efrem McNutt, just being able to play on both sides of the ice. And then I asked Colton Bridgman about playing with Cermak, the big Slovakian defenseman, and he pointed out to me that he's a really good stay-at-home defenseman, plays kind of a similar role to maybe a Dayton Deschamps or even a Bridgman, kind of, how he played his game last year. So he's more of a stay-at-home type defenseman, not really known as kind of a puck-moving guy, but it's their first time playing on the North American ice surface, so it's going to be a little bit of adjustment for them. But, I mean, both of those players, Parsey's not with the team because he's playing for the Slovakian national team, or is it the Czech national team? I get them mixed up. But mindless of that, he'll be there, I think I want to say for the preseason. But the two other kids, it's going to be an adjustment period, but they weren't ranked by Central Scouting going into last year's NHL draft, and they're not represented by Newport Sports, same agency as Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh. And they wouldn't have been recommended to Dale Durkash by Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh's agent if they weren't good. So I think we just have to bank on that, right, Barney?
Yeah, Newport. They kind of know what they're doing over there. All right, so just again, starts Friday, and then with the games on Sunday?
So the blue and white game is on Sunday. On-ice sessions actually start on Thursday. Tomorrow's just kind of everybody gets there, registration, fitness testing, that type of thing. People get to meet each other for the first time. And then, on-ice sessions start at Thursday.
Right on. All right. It's camping time in the WHL. Dante, thanks a lot. Have a good weekend, and looking forward to catching up again.
Awesome stuff. See you around, Barney. Thanks for having me.
There we go. Voice of the Regina Pats. Pats starting this week. Moose Jaw down the road. They're starting Swifty, Brandon. I'll be in Saskatoon at Blades Camp. Hopefully the Fries, the station's open there, the concession, PA, all the Sasky teams firing this weekend. It is the Sports Cage. We're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan and the Regina Pats, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.